Eugenia Ward had spent the morning minutely going over her personal accounts and all her accounting records online, the same records that had been causing her endless anxiety and sleepless nights for the last 18 months, ever since the pandemic began. She was a tall, slim, blonde, serious-looking woman, impeccably trained as a fashion designer, and had been in the business for 33 years. She checked her accounts diligently, while making notes on a yellow legal pad of things she wanted to move and change and watch out for, expenses she would carve out of her overhead, and others she would eliminate from her life if she was forced to. It had been a long, slow process, as she did everything to keep her business afloat. She was divorced with 5 adult children, 2 of whom she still helped to support. She had started her own company 14 years before, when she turned 40. She made the most elegant, luxurious evening gowns and wedding gowns. They were ready to wear, that looked like haute couture. They were worthy of the finest design houses and high-end labels in Europe and the U.S., and a year after she'd opened the doors of her Eugenia Ward stores, she added another dimension, her own haute couture line of evening and wedding gowns, which was her dream come true. They were made to order, entirely by hand, in her own ateliers by sewers who had been trained in Paris. Like some of the finest French designers, she now created both ready-to-wear clothes and haute couture. Her made-to-order handmade gowns were shown, ordered, and fitted in her exclusive private salons. She made it a memorable experience for her clients. Her business had been a brilliant success and had taken off like a rocket, and much to everyone's amazement, Eugenia had been able to pay off her investors in 5 years. She had loyal clients around the world and had had several offers to buy the business, but she had always refused. Both arms of the business were a gold mine, and she loved what she did. Eugenia was involved in every aspect of the business, with her haute couture gowns made under the label Princess Eugenie and her ready-to-wear line eponymous as Eugenia Ward. As a respected American designer, she showed her next season's line of ready-to-wear gowns at Fashion Week in New York twice a year, in February and September, and her haute couture line in Paris, with the other remaining couture houses in January and July. She had a store in the 70s on Madison Avenue in New York for her ready-to-wear gowns, and above it, her very elegant haute couture salons, where they had fittings. She also had an office on 7th Avenue, where they took ready-to-wear orders. She had a store on the Avenue Montaigne in Paris, and a business office above it for orders in Europe. It was an impeccably run operation, and extremely lucrative for Eugenia. Until the pandemic hit them like a bomb. The entire world had been in lockdown for months, repeatedly, and curfews were in force around the globe. Social events, even small dinner parties, were canceled, as well as every socialite jet-set wedding. No woman in any city in any country had worn an evening gown in almost 2 years. Evening wear, and the events where one wore it, had vanished overnight. Eugenia was one of the most famous and successful designers in fashion history, and poured much of what she made back into the business, and in the blink of an eye, she had become obsolete. Now women were wearing yoga pants, exercise clothes, blue jeans, and sweatshirts, fleece-lined slippers and running shoes, and down jackets, instead of satin evening coats. Their jewelry to go with the evening clothes had been in vaults at home or the bank for almost 2 years, and the calendars of the most popular socialites were blank.